Howdy, welcome back. This is xs1100 Ford 390. Got a pretty good sized storm that's rolling over us right now, but it hasn't started doing too crazy. So while we're out here, we're gonna try to install the brand new intake manifolds that I just got. Ordered them off eBay. I found a set for like 20 bucks. They're obviously Chinese remakes. They're not original Yamahas. Did not come with the gaskets, unfortunately, but we're gonna go ahead and I have some gaskets as it is, so we're gonna use those to install these. And yeah, because like I said, the old ones, unfortunately, that's what I want. The old ones unfortunately tore open and they're just old, original, and cracked. So they're toast. So we're gonna pull all these ones off, and we're gonna install the new ones. Okay, so these bolts are a 5mm Allen. So I actually have one that came with the bike and fits perfect because it just does. Oh, I broke my hand off trying to bust that one loose. And pretty much got to do this 8 times. We'll pull all the manifolds off and swap on the new ones. So I got one off, and as you can see, there's little cracks and such in this thing, especially up there on the top. Can you focus, please? Thank you. Now you can see the cracks in there. So it's definitely a good thing that we're replacing all these. Okay, so here's a comparison of the old one versus the new one. They're both, you know, the same height roughly and all that fun stuff. So it's just that this one is trashed and this one is brand new. And they're actually improved because the steel comes through on that one and then these old ones doesn't, so it actually makes a little bit of an indent there. So now we're gonna put it on the bike. Okay, there's the new intake manifold boot installed next to one of the old ones, so we just got to do that 3 more times. Replaced all the last 3. They're all new now, so we're gonna go ahead and turn our attention back to the carburetors to try to clean those up, finish getting those cleaned and back together. I'm also gonna make sure I take note of the main jets and the pilot jets just to confirm if they are stock or not. Okay, so I've got all the slides free. They all respond pretty good. Pretty much like they're supposed to now. So the bowls are still kind of sitting and being cleaned out. And yeah, we're getting these pretty cleaned up though. They're actually cleaning up pretty good. All these floats, this float and this float are free. They're all good. This one is definitely still stuck and gummy. This one was the same. Here's the pin that the float rides on, basically pivots on. So sometimes you can't get these guys out. It's really hard to get them out, and if you don't have like a pin, like a punch or something, it's still kind of hard to get them started out. So usually if they seem really stuck, I just usually heat this end and this end with the blowtorch. I actually have mine, you know, chilling out right there. And that way, it'll expand faster than the steel pin will, and then you can slowly start to pull those out. I somewhat damaged that pin with a pair of pliers getting it out, but it was absolutely stuck. So I'm just gonna clean that up real quick. Clean up the float little spot there, the little axle that rides on that pin, and then I'll put it back together. But I'm also pulling out this because these are actually little filters. So I'm actually gonna pull this one out just to kind of check it, to see if there's any debris in it. Okay, so I went ahead and I got that little filter out. Like I said, they actually have a little filter on them. They'll keep most of the crap out. There was a little bit of rust and stuff on that guy. If you don't have a filter on your incoming lines, these will stop most of it, but what will happen is you'll start running lean, and then pretty soon you won't be able to pass fuel through. Just because it's a really fine screen. Obviously you want to keep that out of your carbs, but it ends up plugging your fuel lines anyway because it starts to back up and then you can't get any fuel through it. So If you're cleaning a set of carbs on something that's been sitting for a long time or has a lot of miles on it, definitely pull these guys, look at it, look at the gaskets on them. These gaskets are actually still soft, which is pretty impressive. And then make sure your lines back are clean too. And then you should be good to go. Slap them back together. They just have this one retainer right here. This one installed, and it moves just like it's supposed to. And they're all seeming to be doing pretty good. I'm gonna pull this last one here, clean it up, and then should be good to put these all back together. Okay, so I'm sure you guys are kind of wondering how I'm getting those pins out. So like I said, very carefully without catching everything on fire and melting stuff. I usually heat these sides for a little bit, just enough to get it pretty hot and expand off that steel pin. And then take a really good pair of pliers without bending anything. Take my thumb, grip onto that pin really good, and I'll just twist it. Once you get it out and get a good bite on it, you can actually start tapping. We don't have the proper tools, so we're just going to use a pair of all 16s to knock this pin out. As you can see, that pin's in there pretty good. And it's popping off, so probably just gonna have to work this sucker back and forth to get it out. And it is going, it's just really slow. So you gotta be patient because you don't want to damage stuff. Because even though this bike isn't 50 years old, it's still hard to find parts for. They can be, anyway, if you don't know where to look. And that ain't doing anything, so we're just gonna have to continue twisting this guy out until she comes out. Might need a little bit more heat here in the back. Might heat the whole thing actually, especially since it's so gummed up. You can see the float relax there, so. And there it goes, it's coming. And there we go. See if I can get that to focus there. And that's why it was stuck. All that corrosion and all that gunk and crap, keeping it from coming out and keeping the float from acting like a float. There, we're going to soak that in carb clean without losing it. And we're going to go ahead and pull this guy really carefully. And the inside of it is dirty as well. It smells like old gas, of course. And we'll just clean that up. Make sure this guy's okay. I got that last pin all cleaned up and back in. So now all these guys move like they're supposed to, nice and freely. So that's good. I've got one more jet to clean, and then I should be able to put these back in the bike. For today's video on the old carburetors on this bike, like, subscribe, leave a comment if you wish. Stay tuned for more. Next video I should be able to finish cleaning out that jet and install the carburetors on the bike, and we should be able to start from there. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, have a good day.